So this is like our third or fourth attempt at the part 1 of episode 1. We luckily achieved the second half of episode 1, but lost the first half. So we're redoing it. And
I'm the one that told him to check it.
And yep, multiple times. And we did again today.
He did, and it was not recording.
No, it was.
Oh, no sound or something.
No sound and slow motion.
Oh. How are y'all doing today? Southerners don't need slow motion.
It's exactly like that.
We move in slow motion.
Oh, man. Okay, so welcome. This is Simmons Sooty Stories. And this is going to be, basically, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. The first who knows how many episodes / seasons are going to really be about those awesome stories that my dad, Jeff, tells everyone. And believe it or not, you know, I grew up majority of my life not really believing a lot of the stories until I started running into people that happened to be there when it happened and cooperated. And so I was like, wow, this is kind of weird. And John Meredith had been telling you for a long time that you need to write a book and that he would help.
Yeah.
And we both know.
It's a new day. It's podcast time.
Yeah. He's not going to write a book.
No.
And I was like, I ain't going to
read a book.
It's true, too. We've got to capture as much of this as we can. So super excited, and I know a lot of other people are excited about this. So we're going to start it off with just an introduction like we did last time, our first try. So go ahead, name, where you're from.
My name is Jeff Simmons. I am not the founder of Hat Chimney Sweeps. I actually bought a going concern. And what I got out of that was a bread truck, a bunch of tarps, a bread truck and a bunch of tarps, and
a cool logo.
A cool logo. Timeless logo. On the artist palette, the Hat Chimney Sweeps logo. And I really believe, to this day, through thick and thin, this is a up-to-date logo just because it's so simple yet three-dimensional.
I'm complete tangent here, but I would agree. I know a lot of people are going to say we're biased or whatever, but there's actually a time span where I really wanted to try to change the logo, and every time I tried it just was not. It was nowhere near as good as this one. And
I didn't do it. It was done by the previous owner, who in his class had someone that was majoring in, not majoring in, because in high school you don't major, but it was in whatchamacallit arts, drawing,
graphic design.
Yeah, so a graphic designer or training graphic designer did it, and it's cool.
Yeah, so Jeff Simmons bought Hat Chimney Sweeps from Ed Weatherman back in, I believe, 85 or 86. And
actually worked for Ed in either 84, 85, I think.
Okay.
I worked for him, deciding if I wanted to buy it.
Right.
He had a very tough schedule. He worked Saturdays.
Yeah.
I'm a big-time beer drinker and partier at the time.
Okay.
Well, I am a big-time drinker and partier. All right, so anyhow,
Saturday
was a good time to. I just wanted to supplement my income.
Okay. You were trying to find a side hustle.
Because at the time I owned a plant business, interior Plantscapes it was called.
Okay.
And we did, we supplied plants for rent in doctor's offices, residences, in restaurants and bars.
Malls. I actually remember going to, because he still had the plant business. He had both businesses simultaneously. I remember going to a lot of places and watering the plants, taking care of them, delivering, pulling out dead ones, whatever it was.
I never expected the chimney business, of all things, to work. Well, it didn't work, but it was a supplement to income for quite a while there.
Well, we'll get back into it like what made it work, but where are you from?
I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. My long family history in Greenville, South Carolina. My granddad, my dad, my granddad's dad. The Simmons side of the family has always been in the South. Now, before my great-grandfather, we were, under our own accord, transported to Alabama. And actually, it'll come to me in a minute.
So,
bad memory.
Dad's name?
My dad's name?
Yeah.
Is John Rife Simmons.
Okay.
Junior. Actually, he never used the junior.
Okay.
Because he had to make a choice. DDS, Doctor of Dental Surgery, or Junior. Because how would it look to be John Rife Simmons DDS Junior?
Or Junior DDS. Either one doesn't look good.
No. So he did away with the junior.
Okay, so he was a dentist.
Yes.
And your mom?
My mom my mom and dad met at the University of Minnesota, and he was in dental school, and she was in what all ladies pretty much graduated in at that time. She was in, was it homemaker school or something?
Oh, home ec? Home economics?
Home ec. She graduated in home ec.
That was a degree? I knew you could do that. I knew you could do that in high school.
Back then,
I didn't know you could get a full degree in that.
Back then, they had great classes.
I thought
there is a segment of the population that wants to be a homemaker.
Well, you and I saw on the news just the other day. We were at the gym working out.
Yeah.
And they're starting to, what Gen, I don't know what Gen there is right now. I think it's Gen Z. The Gen Zers are saying they don't know how to adult, so they're asking for classes on how to be an adult.
Yeah, I mean, they actually taught it way back when.
Yeah, they did. They did. I thought you were going to say your mom went to get the same degree my wife got, which was her MRS.
Oh. No, she did not go for that. She actually did not. She was into her home ec.
Cool. Very cool.
And was learned a lot.
Yeah. So, Mom, Dad, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have you, and my siblings.
Yeah.
I have my sister Jan, and I have another sister, Lori.
Good. Okay.
And one of them lives in Greenville, still.
Yes.
And one of them, not exactly Greenville, but
area.
Sure. Metropolitan.
Yeah.
And then Trent, who of course is running Top Hat now. I mean,
got you.
and
So,
then
Laurie.
and then Laurie, who is down in
Braden.
living they're rich as dirt. But they don't think so. But anyway,
No, he did,
they're down in Bradenton.
Yeah, he did.
And I have a story about that.
Okay. All right. We'll pause there.
Okay.
We'll come back to that story. So next is, I'd like to know, because I think I know, but just want to give, so of the 3 kids, who's the first, second, and third child?
Okay. The first child was Jan.
Okay.
She's the oldest. And then I came, and then from what I understand, the mistake came several years later, which is Laurie. No, that's the way most families
No,
work.
it's the pleasant surprise.
It's
or
only,
gift.
but be realistic. You were the most wonderful, you need to tell this person, you were the most wonderful mistake I ever made in my life. I don't know how I could live without this mistake. I mean, you got to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just not sure I would label it a mistake, but I get what you're saying.
They didn't want to have another kid.
Well,
They had me.
I would understand.
Yeah. So
So,
I mean, they got like nightmares about having another kid.
all right, so let's do childhood here, because I know what I'm going to go into next. Is there a memory you have that's your best memory from age newborn to 7 years old?
You didn't ask me this question.
I know. I've had time to think.
Newborn to 7.
Yep.
My memories were in a sandbox with my sister playing war
Oh, okay.
with little plastic
Yeah,
army men.
sure.
And the gray guys...
With Jan?
Yes.
Okay.
The gray guys were us, and
Uh-huh.
the green guys were the Japanese.
Okay.
And, of course, we would just play for hours and hours and hours, me beating the Japanese.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right, so growing up in y'all's home, you had alluded to earlier that no one would have elected or chosen to have a third child if you were their second child.
Yes.
So is there an example or a story that you have of why that would be?
I was not an athlete growing up,
Right?
but for some reason, when I threw a rock at my sister, dead on. I'm talking about from the treehouse at 200 yards. I could just toss that thing, and I'd be going, no way that thing's gonna land anywhere near her. Boom, right in the head. So, she's probably half brain dead.
Jeez.
And then another...
Was that Jan or Laurie?
Jan. Then another
Jan.
story comes
Poor
to...
Jan, I'm sorry.
Another story comes to mind where we lived on this, on a...
Hilltop?
Like, and there's an alley
Okay.
that ran between 2 streets, and it was on very much of a slope. And I'm trying to remember where I was going with this.
Bikes?
Oh, the bike. Did I say that in the last time we
No.
tried? Oh man, I thought it would be kind of cool. My sister would always chicken out. We're going down this huge hill, and I'm talking flying.
Yeah.
And then there's this bank, and you could go up and you could jump like 15 feet in
Wow.
the air.
Okay.
All right, well, she would never do it.
I wonder why.
So I assisted her.
Hmm.
I took the chain off the bike without her knowing,
Okay.
got her to the top of the hill, and y'all, back in the day, we didn't have these things.
Yeah, just pedal brake.
Pedal brakes.
Foot brake.
So if you don't have a chain, you don't have brakes.
All right.
So she's coming down this hill, and she starts screaming about halfway down, I can't slow down. I said, just take the jump. Don't go in the street.
Yeah.
Sisters. She didn't turn. She went down into the street. She hit a car, very busy thoroughfare, spun her around. She lands on her head, and I see her spinning on the top of her head like a top. She drops. Mom and Dad time. So I ran inside. Mom, Dad, Jan just got run over by a car.
Yeah.
Come out now.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to get your parents moving fast, tell them your sister just got run over.
Okay.
So they come running out. She's bleeding profusely. She didn't get run over. She hit
hit the car. Yeah.
Okay. Spun like top, drops.
Didn't have a helmet. Did they even have bike helmets back
No,
then?
we did not have anything that even was like a bike helmet. But anyway, she lived.
Okay. That was Jan or Lori?
It was Jan. Laurie had it made.
So you didn't do anything like that to Lori?
I was already, no.
Okay.
Well, no.
Okay, good. All right, so age 7 and up into adolescence, what was the activity you did the most of?
Lord. Well, that was the beginning of swim team days.
Okay.
And my dad was well-to-do. He was a dentist. We were members of a club. And joined the club. And Mom and Dad, to get rid of my nuisance self, I don't know why I don't know that they did this, but I do know that for a fact they dropped me off in the morning at the club and picked me up in the evening. Okay, so I had to figure out what I wanted to do. I played, I piddled around with golf. I got on the swim team, and I really liked the swim team. It was a lot of camaraderie because growing up, I was in a lot of different sports. I was in baseball, I was in football, I was in, not soccer didn't exist in my day. That's what...
Not prevalent.
That's what the rest of the world played. We were the USA.
Football.
Okay, and basketball and...
Baseball.
Okay, and I sucked at all of them. I was not a team sports player. It was very easy to, if you were an opponent or my teammate, to dog me out and me not respond appropriately. It would be more like cowling. I would just cowl.
Okay.
So it was very, very tough on me. So I found a sport where I was on a team, but I didn't have to be part of the team. It was just me. And I excelled at being just me.
Cool. What was your favorite stroke?
Anything but what my good stroke was. My good stroke was backstroke, which was my least favorite stroke.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I was very good at it.
What's very good?
I pretty much won all the races I was in growing up.
Did that take you anywhere?
Well, my coach was an Olympic coach, and he said you need to go with your strengths, and I go, you need to teach me how to go with what I want to do.
And faster.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
I want to be a freestyler.
Right.
Or I didn't have the muscles to be a butterflyer or a breaststroker. Man, that's what I wanted to do. So, but no.
Wasn't good at it.
No. Now, I was on our relay team, which were 4 of my very best friends growing up. You had...
Don't try to name names.
You're right. There's Steve White.
Wow.
Jim Robinson.
Oh, my goodness.
And...
you're 50%. You're already better
the guy I had the most respect for. Mr. Disobey All the Rules.
Okay.
Came to practice when he wanted. Did what he wanted to do. And was a freestyler.
Okay.
Okay, now Jim was the butterfly.
Okay.
Strong guy.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the breaststroker was Steve. Well, the freestyler, he just wanted to party, and he was a huge smoker. You couldn't get that cigarette out of his hand to do a race.
Wow.
But when he got in the pool, he blew all the records off the chart.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we were the...
And then you on backstroke.
And then me on backstroke. And as a foursome, we were a force to be reckoned with, because we made all kind of state records and junior Olympic records and all of that as a relay team, and all of us excelled at our strokes, except for the freestyler. We were just worried about him even showing up, and we knew we couldn't win without him. But sure enough, on the day of the big race, like when they're calling you to the block, he shows up out of nowhere, puts out a cigarette, gets on the block, and freestylers get starts. So he was on it. But anyway.
That's wild.
And I played a lot of golf.
Okay.
And ate a lot of burgers and...
Lived the club life.
Lived the club life.
Wow.
Spoiled kid life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And went to the Junior Olympics in backstroke.
Yep. And then that evolved, and I eventually made it to the Olympic trials as an individual. And just...
What happened at the Olympic trials?
I knew I had what it took. And I really at the time knew I could win. The problem is at the trials, only one person could go from each country. And so I lost by either 1/1000th of a second or 1/10,000th of a second in the Olympic trials for backstroke. And I did not go to the Olympics. And like everything else in my life, if I wasn't able to be the best, I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah. Well,
it just kind of runs in my DNA.
It's a Ricky Bobby thing. If you're not first, you're last.
Swear thing. Yeah. I mean, why? Try if you can't be number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people think differently because in reality, there's nothing wrong with being number 2.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for me.
Right.
If you ain't first, you're last.